The Anyday.com podcasts. Energy is a great story. The Oil School, training centre in a special place. From the article by Gianpaolo Cherry on Anyday.com.
Italy is famous for its tremendous variety. Villages clinging to mountaintops, towns nestling in narrow bays overlooking the sea, and where there is no particular geographical structure to dictate the development of urban centres, we see the repetition from north to south of the same structure based on the intersection between Cardo and Decumanus, following the planning of Roman army encampments. It wasn't by chance that the exhibition area of Milan's Expo 2015 was organised like an ancient Roman village, with its two main intersecting streets indeed named Cardo or Cardinal Point and Decumano coming from Decimus. Basically, you need level ground to reproduce the cross-structure of cities and towns, and in Italy, level ground par excellence means the Po Valley. Just like Turin, Aosta, Pavia and Vienna, in the province of Piacenza there is a town of almost 5,000 inhabitants with a great agricultural calling that for centuries has followed the placid rhythms of the lower valley, pursuing independence and a thriving economy. It's called Corte Maggiore, indeed nestling between a Cardo and a Decumanus, that boasts a theatre dedicated to the mythical Eleonora Duse. During the winter you can't see it, due to the fog obviously, and during the summer if you can see it, stay well away, saying that the heat and mosquitoes rule the roost. Come on, wake up. Really, we're at an awkward moment. In 1949, after centuries of indolent, semi-feudal aristocracy, Corte Maggiore becomes the heart of the country's rebirth, in the hands of the visionary mind of Enrico Mattei. Basically, Corte Maggiore sees the discovery of oil. The worst of wars is just over. Italy tries to head towards rebirth through the development of mobility and industrial development. It really needed an oil field to complete the picture, didn't it? Shh, be quiet. There's some important news on the radio.
The research carried out by Azienda Generale Italiana Petroleum, AGIP, in the Po Valley has led, among other things, to the discovery of the great oil field of Corte Maggiore. That, in addition to methane, is producing an impressive amount of petrol and liquid gas, butane and propane. To distinguish, through sensational images, these Italian products launched onto the market, AGIP, with the collaboration of Domus magazine, announces 5 major contests for artists, with 10 million in prizes.
10 million in prizes. This Mattei wasn't born yesterday. He doesn't just immediately understand the media importance of the discovery of oil in the heart of the Po Valley, but he gives it resonance through a contest aimed at giving an image to an event destined to change society. And who wins?
What do you mean, and who wins? It's the sketch by the sculptor Luigi Braghini, that of the dog with 6 legs spitting out a tongue of flame. And this is how the AGIP sign is born, thanks to Super Corte Maggiore petrol. And now, the adverts.
Super Corte Maggiore, la potente benzina italiana.
La fiamma più attiva, più sicura, più economica.
Super Corte Maggiore.
Right then, we're back on air. Thank you, you're very kind. And so it was. The energy and communication revolution of a restarting Italy is born here at Corte Maggiore, where Mattei manages to bring in pilgrimage, bishops, ministers, undersecretaries, and more or less famous public figures. As a result, Corte Maggiore becomes known from the Aosta Valley to Sicily, together with the 6-legged dog that enters the hearts of all Italians, an example of our great homegrown school of graphics that is then revisited during the 70s by a great designer very active in our country, the Dutchman Bob Noorda. Shame.
What's a shame?
Well, my dear presenter of another time, it's a shame that there was so very little oil and LPG at Corte Maggiore. But the experience served us well. That petrol, the new dog dragon trademark, everything was there to announce the idea that Italy could do it. And in fact, it has done it. You know, the energy that makes things move is not just that of fuels. There is a special energy. It's called enthusiasm. Now, at Corte Maggiore, the plant...
Don't tell me that they've dismantled everything.
Are you kidding? They're still there.
Hurrah! Super Corte Maggiore, the powerful Italian petrol for all the roads in Italy.
Calm down, calm down. Although the last well finished its extraction in 1990, the entire site has today become a training center unique of its genre at a worldwide level.
This is news.
Corte Maggiore is a place where you can meet technicians from all over the world, a corporate university. Let's go into its conference hall. There, at Corte Maggiore, in the heart of Lower Piacenza, you can hear more languages than at the United Nations Secretariat building. Because here is where they train the extraction technicians that every day are called upon to solve minor and major problems tied to the oil industry all over the world. The spirit of Enrico Mattei continues to live on in the form of top-level research. And these guys are in good hands. Pierangelo Boiardi is the training center's director.
Listen, don't take offense, but unfortunately I have very little time and I have to get back to my listeners. Don't want them to get too offended. Goodbye.
Bye. We were saying, Pierangelo Boiardi, who runs the center, can tell us some more about what Corte Maggiore has become today.
Today, Corte Maggiore is any corporate university training center in which technical and professional training courses are held. It is a training course that I hold to be multi-ethnic because this center sees the transit of any personnel of all the ethnicities and every country from Ghana and Nigeria to Iraqi. There forms a kind of integration and also a sort of friendship. Let's say there forms a kind of synergy or bond.
Today at Corte Maggiore, there is a spirit that is both ancient and modern, that of technicians working to improve their expertise, but also that which comes from far away, from the visionary enthusiasm of a giant of endeavor and communication like Enrico Mattei.
Well, I think that still is this spirit. This strength that Mattei had has, however, been passed on year after year until arriving at today's ANI management. This, therefore, is what the ANI management then passes on to its workforce. There is always this transmission of unity, let's say, this progress towards the objectives.
It's really true. The strength of ANI and its first president have withstood the barriers of time, unleashing an industrial and cultural ferment with few equals. It's as if here at Corte Maggiore there still resonates the same energy of decades and decades ago. Corte Maggiore is a place that really knows how to surprise you, today like yesterday and vice versa. Did you know that attention to the training aspect is so important for ANI that until a few years ago training services were supplied to facilitate the social reintegration of prisoners? The pain and sense of guilt experienced by these people soon gave way to determination and a will to start again and rebuild a life beginning with the professional aspect. One of the many people to come here to Corte Maggiore was Giuseppe.
One day, the prison governor and the cell block commander called me and said that there was this proposal from ANI, which would engage some of the prisoners for a training course, at the end of which they would be taken on at an ANI site.
Giuseppe is not an ordinary prisoner. In him, ANI saw the possibility for a radical change. Today, he works in the tank park and dock at the Mantova Versalis plant. To sum up, Corte Maggiore is a true hotbed of inspiration. One only needs to wander around the facility corridors to understand that we're talking about a place full of action. Just think, in here there is also a power plant. Okay, it's certainly smaller than an ordinary one, but this isn't a problem. Here at the corporate university, all the equipment is perfectly equal to that present at the ANI site spread throughout the world. And they have an uncovered section that allows the technicians to understand the internal mechanisms. Listen, an Islamic prayer. You haven't ended up at Rabat without realizing it. At the Corte Maggiore Corporate University, great attention and respect is paid to the technicians' different religions. This is why some areas have been redesigned for peaceful worship. You weren't expecting that, were you? Yet that's how it is. And when you ask where all this was born, you can find the answer in one of the facility's flower beds, a bronze bust with a simple plaque, to Enrico Mattei. There's no need to add anything more. The industrialist didn't like frills. He put energy aside to feed his dreams, dreams that allowed him to talk to an entire world in a language understandable everywhere, that of ANI.
When I see this memorial to Mattei, I get a bit emotional. It gives me a desire to come here every morning and try to be, let's say, always worthy of the situation. It also gives me the way to face the day in a serene and positive manner.
And here we find his unbridled strength and visionary enthusiasm expressed in other forms, but with the same force. At Corte Maggiore, in the heart of the Po Valley. Are you sure that there is only fog here? The marvelous journey of Eni in the world of energy carries on until we see you next time. Because energy, even that of a training center, is a great story.
You have been listening to AnyDay.com's podcast, Energy is a Great Story. Written by Giacomo Zito. Music by New Horizon Project. Produced and adapted for radio by Cast 4. Download the complete collection from the site AnyDay.com.